and it could be instantaneous, or it could be after fooling around with it for weeks or months or years.
That actually happens a lot with me with fanfic, because I'll read fanfic that I'm like, yes, this is all the elements that I love, and then I read it and I'm like, oh, except for the good writing. The writing is not good.
See,
and then I stop reading it.
That happens with me with porn.
Yeah. Yeah. This is all of those elements I love, except you did it totally wrong.
Or they just added something that Travis was talking about, finding some accidental right-wing politics in your...
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens, bro.
Yeah. I enjoy some online erotica.
Yeah.
Like free and crowdsource and stuff. And I can take some pretty bad writing with my erotica. You know what I cannot take?
What's that?
When people don't separate their fucking paragraphs.
Damn
and it's just
right.
one long
God.
mass. Okay, we should talk about. Let's get started because we should talk about this on the podcast.
Okay.
I think we're just rolling start, baby.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt, a.k.a. Ari's sleep deprivation study.
Yeah.
It's
We're
been over
in it.
36 hours. I'm actually dead.
She's been dead for 30 years.
I've been
Let's
dead
see.
for 30 years.
Let's see if you're crazier after a bottle and a half of wine or after 36 hours of no sleep.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard for me to judge that because I don't know what happened when I drank a bottle and a half of wine.
We'll let the listeners be the judge.
For
All right,
when
fair
Rod
enough.
was here?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, spoiler alert. I drank a bottle and a half of wine.
Yeah, I edited out anytime Ari talked about being drunk
Yes.
to see if people would notice. But now the cat's out of the bag. So
It's free. It's free in here. So, what did y'all do today?
we ate lunch.
Yeah. We recorded a podcast.
We recorded a podcast.
We're doing a two. Sometimes, occasionally, we do 2 recordings in one day when we all have like time off and we can like dick around and stuff. And that today was one of those days, so we're all pretty tired.
We had a nice meeting with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Got some things we talked about from the previous episode ironed out.
Yeah. We talked about plans for the future. I'm pretty excited about that, actually.
The future is real.
Yes, it is.
The future of Hadcast.
And in fact, the future is now.
Yeah.
The
Because when
future
this
is
episode
now.
comes out,
you could
it'll
totally
be-
fuck a robot.
I feel like
We could fuck a robot, yeah. When this episode comes out, we'll be able to fuck a robot. We'll have Hey Assbutt merch. And
Have you not seen AES in a while?
A what?
AES? Adult what is it? Adult Electronics Showcase, I believe.
Oh, yeah. We've been able to fuck robots for a while.
Yeah.
But soon they'll be able to fuck us back.
They can.
They can?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
but will they love us?
They can be programmed to love you.
Oh.
But will that matter?
What is love?
Baby,
Baby,
don't hurt me.
Ah. Hey,
God
we're
damn
friends.
Me too. But like, I'm not ashamed. I mean, they're only like $2,000 or $3,000. It's like it's like a fucking.
Oh,
car.
guys, I've got a great idea. Let's go on a fuck robot.
Oh, God, no.
Yes.
Let's get something androgynous. And we'll just, make sure to clean it after we're done with it.
No.
Or it can clean itself. How advanced is it?
I mean, it's silly. It's going to be made out of the same stuff that a fleshlight is, so it's going to be washable.
Okay,
Machine washable.
here's the thing. I'm going to need some accoutrement.
What kind of accoutrement?
What I'm saying is this thing is going to have a dick and a vagina.
Yeah, both at the same
It's going to
time.
have to be intersexed, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to fuck a robot. Neither of us are going to get anything out of it.
What if
Speak
it could
for
move
yourself.
autonomously by itself?
Yeah, look, all I'm saying is it's going to have it.
It's going to
Have a dildo, all right?
I mean, you can put a strap on it.
Look, I don't think this is too hard for me to ask. Why are you guys obsessed with a female robot?
I didn't say I had to be female.
No, I know. Benjamin over here is stuck in gender binary roles.
If you want to get both, get both.
Why do you got to put titties on a robot, Benjamin?
Why you got to put a dick on a robot?
Because I need some... 'cause that's a tool for learning.
Why not both? For real, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, thank
We'll see
you.
how it works.
All right, so that's 1,000 a piece
You can
for the fuckbot.
you can fuck it on its dildo and grab its titties. It's the best.
Ugh, yes.
Best of both worlds.
Dreams come
Gonna
true.
get some big titties and a round ass.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get some thickness up
Well, yeah, even if we got a totally male robot, I'd be like, we need a badonk-a-donk. A donk.
Yeah.
Gonna need some ass.
Need that figure skater butt.
We need that figure skater, but
Now,
we need
equestrian
a
ass.
Okay, don't make this weird.
Y'all ever seen women who ride horses?
Oh, yeah.
I actually went to school with women who rode horses.
Freaky.
You know those horse girls.
Yeah.
Not well. Okay, hang on.
Wait, I made a mistake.
That's the name of the podcast, right?
You know those horse girls.
You know those horse girls.
All right.
We'll lose listeners that way.
Is horse girls one word or two? I think that's the very important difference.
Yeah, come save lives, guys.
That's an even better title.
Is horse girls one word or two?
Anyway.
Oh, God.
Let's talk about something else now.
No, we're parsing out this fuck robot meeting.
Yeah.
On air.
A Fudinaria fuckbot.
Okay. Can the fuck robot also make me pizza?
No.
To hand feed it to me?
It can't. That's an extra $2,000.
I say it'd be worth it to have. Can I feed the fuck robot pizza?
We're going to need better jobs.
All right. I'll become a NASA scientist.
I'll just become a gigolo.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Benjamin has some questions that he wants to ask us today.
Yeah.
Benjamin, it's your turn to talk.
Well, do you want to start with the one about animals or the one about something that you've either abstained from for a very long time? We'll start with that one.
Okay. Maybe we don't talk about the animals.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's also a good title.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't talk about the animals.
What is something that you have abstained from? I'm going to try to move as little as possible because of this chair. What is something that you have abstained from for years because you thought you would fucking hate it? Like, I have not touched... I did not touch Call of Duty... let's see, from World at War, because all I would play was zombies with my best friend in high school. I have not touched a Call of Duty game until Black Ops 3 extremely recently. And fuck, I love it. So what is something like that for y'all?
One thing for me was actually open world games.
Oh, like, really?
Yeah. So for the longest time, I was like, "There's no way I can handle doing like open world, open-ended games like that," because for a while, I was too much of a completionist, and I got scared of the fact of trying to do something in that big open world. And then I actually played Skyrim for the very first time when it came out in 2011.
Yeah, and
that got me hooked. And then I went back and played Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. And I loved them all. And I was like, wow, I was scared of nothing.
Did you complete them?
I completed all of them. I completed the Fallout games, but not Skyrim.
Fair enough. What about you?
And I still have not completed the story of Skyrim.
Who has?
Me, when I create a new character.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not Ari yet.
Not me yet, but it will be soon. That's actually why I started playing Skyrim, so I could become Travis's first friend who's beaten Skyrim. Like the main quest.
Yeah.
Like that's my goal.
Yeah, now we're all going to have to start from scratch.
I know, right? It'll be fun. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, my poor computer hard drive. We're going to have a Viking funeral for it. For all of our characters that are going to die on that hard drive that I destroyed.
What kind of a Viking funeral do you have in mind?
We're probably just gonna fill the sink up with water and then light my hard drive on fire.
Yeah. Make a little boat. We can go down to Dinner's
Ben, can we do it in your pool?
No. I have a better idea.
You have a better idea? Are we going to blow it up?
I don't see how that's possible, but continue.
I've got about a quarter pound of thermite.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Why do you have that much thermite?
Why do you have so much thermite, Ben?
I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Jesus.
The hair, the glasses. Ben.
Am I the Unabomber?
Were you the Oklahoma City bomber?
Yeah. The Oklahoma City bomber was fucking bald.
That was a cap.
The Unabomber was hairy as fuck.
Maybe you just haven't found your bomber yet.
Yeah.
Probably. I do have a bomber jacket, but yeah, if you want to really light that son bitch up.
Damn.
We once, actually, the Razor phone I spoke to you guys about earlier.
Yeah.
We turned that into slag when I was in high school.
Oh, God.
That was fun.
Okay. Ben's starting to scare me.
I do still have a bunch of unused firecrackers.
Me too.
And I have a penchant for fire. I can start with my mind. Okay, what's one thing that I abstained from for a while because I didn't think I would like it?
Yeah.
Season 6 through 8 of Supernatural.
There you go. There it is.
Solid answer.
And now we're here.
Yeah, and here we are. That's not totally true because I actually I didn't hate season 6 through 8 as much as I thought I would, but I cannot say that I loved them.
Right.
That's for sure. They're definitely, out of all the seasons I've seen, definitely some of my least favorites. But I would also say, actually, let's go around the table and answer another one, and then I'll come back to me.
What is something that you thought you would love and you ended up fucking hating? It could have been an instantaneous, or it could have been after a while.
Over time?
Yes. Like, I got super hyped for Destiny 1.
Ah, yes.
I got hyped to the fucking, like, balls to the goddamn walls. I had a poster. I pre-ordered it, like, a year in advance. I got the season pass. I didn't get a collector's edition because I didn't have the cash for it at the time. I enjoyed the vanilla, just the initial release. Then was it Crota's End, I believe, was the next one. And that was all right. It just got like super grindy and shit. And then by the time Lord of Wolves or something, whatever the second one was, it just was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And then it grew to be because I played it like almost every day with a group. And it got to the point where only one of us enjoyed the goddamn game. And we would end up... None of us talked to each other anymore because of how much we hated that fucking game.
Wow.
And now I'm playing Destiny 2.
He still hasn't learned his lesson, folks.
You're not goddamn... Well, because when it first came out, it felt like it was going to be good. But at this point, I'm so apathetic.
Oh, yeah. I remember being super hyped for Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Because it was... Bungie, right?
Yeah.
And everyone, Bungie did the original Halo, and everyone was super hyped for it.
It was like Halo 1, 2, and 3 they did, and then they gave it away, I believe. But, yeah, because I was like, I fucking loved Halo 2. Jesus,
absolutely.
Fuck that campaign.
Halo 2 may be one of the best single-player shooters of all time.
It is. It's got the best campaign, most definitely. It's worth... Can you play it on your computer?
Probably.
Okay. That is a game, if you have not played before, you should play.
I haven't played it. I am fantastically... If you thought Skyrim was a rough start for me, I am even worse at first-person shooters.
It's a good one to start with.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'll check it out.
Because it's one of the ones I would be like... Because you enjoy a good story.
I do enjoy a good story.
I would highly... Well, you don't have to play Halo 1. All you really got to understand is they had a fucking Half-Life. Either one.
She's watched me play some of Half-Life.
Okay.
And I also have the Black Mesa mod that the people started doing, where they basically took Half-Life and put it on the Half-Life 2 engine and started reskinning stuff, and they have it almost entirely complete, actually.
God damn.
I will say this. My next big game thing that I want to try to get to play is I want to save up money and get a Switch to get Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
I've seen so much about that game in recent months, and I just that's all I'm thinking about right now as far as video games go.
Yeah.
Beating Skyrim fucking finally.
Yeah.
And thinking about a character for that, and then Breath of the Wild. I want to play it so bad.
And I really want to play some Splatoon 2.
I want to play Bomberman R.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Travis?
Mine is similar to Ben's. It was a video game. Team Fortress 2. I started playing Team Fortress 2 when I was a freshman in high school in 2008. And that is when... 2008 is when TF2... It was vanilla for a while. Or no. I heard about it for the first time in 2008. Or something. I heard about it when it first came out. And then I started playing about a year and a half later... After they first started doing free updates for the game that started including like new weapons for characters and new things that you could do in the game. that just started making it better and better and better.
I think I know where this is going.
And I got to a point where I was like playing on a server all the time, and I had just this big group of people. We'd all play together and have fun, and it was always a good time because no one took the game too seriously. There was a small like subgroup of us in the big group that wanted to play competitively, and they made their own team and did that themselves, and they were super good, and they made me a better player. But then it just got to the point where the updates on TF2 just started getting so ridiculous. And just the whole system with the hats and the trading and the weapon making and the crates and everything, it just got to be too much going on.
They tried to turn it into CSGO.
And it got to a point where if you... And during that time, Team Fortress 2 also went free to play. And I bought it on the orange box.
Yeah.
That's when I got... Because I got Half-Life 2 and its... continuing chapters
1 and 2,
and Portal and Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, there's also the pack that had the Lost Island.
Yeah, no, that was Orange Box.
Yeah.
And
when you say the updates got ridiculous before you got to the hats part, what do you mean?
Like, no, after the hats part. The hats part, when hats got introduced, that was around the time I started playing. Because it was fun and silly, and it didn't mean anything.
Yeah. Then they started becoming like status symbols and what was hype. And
oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it was fucking nuts. And just all the weapons, it got to a point where if someone started the game free to play and they entered a server where everyone else had like every single weapon that's ever been dropped on an update, it's impossible for new players to enter the game. Because you start as a vanilla player with the vanilla weapons. And it was just too crazy. And it started turning me off to the game because I couldn't introduce more people to it.
Yeah. I feel like you could have that problem with like Black Ops 3 because they lock a lot of the weapons behind experience like progression and stuff like that. Like every level you unlocked a new gun or something.
Yeah, but see, with TF2 it wasn't levels, it was just random drops.
Fuck that.
You could get random drops, or you could buy crates and get things in crates.
Real early loot boxes.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So I have a couple.
What you got?
So first of all, I remembered something that I didn't watch for a long time because I thought I wouldn't like it, and then ended up picking up and now love it, and that's Star Trek.
Really?
So the first couple of, like, Star Trek episodes I saw were the Next Generation, and I was like, oh, this is the most boring thing on the planet. Why would anyone watch this?
Very true.
And this is what, okay, so I'm probably going to lose some nerd cred, but whatever. This is why I don't go down so hard on the reboot movies. Mm-hmm. I saw the 2009 reboot movie, and I was like, oh my god, why have I been sleeping on this franchise? And that's what inspired me to watch TOS, and then Next Generation and DS9 and Voyager and even Enterprise. So, I stayed away from it for a long time because I just thought it was boring as shit, and now I'm a huge Star Trek fan.
So you are a great example of why
old fans should calm the fuck down.
Oh yeah, all fans should calm the fuck down, and we need to get over ourselves.
Yeah.
Because so what? Someone like. Maybe somebody's first Fallout game was Fallout 4. Or maybe for someone's first Star Trek experience was the 2008 movie. Or whatever it came out.
Yeah.
People find stuff when they find it.
Yeah.
Yes.
People find it. And if they want to go back and enjoy that older media, then more power to them.
Yeah.
Then they can get more nerd cred that way.
Mm-hmm.
But don't, totally discredit someone if the only things they've seen are the most recent stuff.
Yeah, I'm not less of a fan of Star Trek just because, I didn't start watching, TOS when I was 4 years old and come to it organically like that. I needed a bunch of sexy actors running around in space shooting things before I was interested in the older series, and then I found a love with it. Who gives a shit?
However, if you walk up to me and say, I love Star Wars, and I've only ever seen episodes 1, 2, and 3, and they're amazing, I'll probably punch you in the face.
Travis can't take his own advice.
Because
Travis is a psychopath.
Fuck you forever. If the only 3 movies you like are the prequel movies, you can get out of here.
Why don't you just say, like, hey, I've got some better films for you to watch. I'm going to blow your mind right now.
I've only seen 2 movies, episode 1 and episode 2.
Oh, flashback. Or back to that episode.
But no, like, yeah, that is the opportunity you should take.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've seen Star Wars, but only the prequel movies.
Oh, I've got some good news.
Take the opportunity and be like, there are so many better things you can watch.
Yeah.
Even the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah.
Better than that shit.
Yeah. And then the things that I, like, should have loved and maybe did love for a while, and now just I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
This is a slow burn. Do you know what I'm about to say?
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't tell.
Nope. Keep going.
No, I kind of want you to guess.
No.
Guess.
No,
Guess.
I don't want to guess.
Guess.
I don't want to guess.
Oh, why don't you want to guess?
I don't want to guess. Go.
All right, fine, whatever. Okay, so when I was a kid, and today, I loved musicals, and would watch or listen to any musical soundtrack I could get my hands on. And my parents let me listen to some musical soundtracks I was probably too young for.
Yeah.
And one of those was Rent.
Ah!
Which you have to understand was my first introduction to queer characters. It was certainly my first introduction to bisexual women, even though she's the worst. And then in college, I had a moment where I was like, wow, it's pretty fucked up that this is like the queer musical about AIDS, and it doesn't even really star the 2 characters who are queer and have AIDS, or talk about their issues outside of like the tragedy that it is to die young of AIDS. Like, it doesn't talk about any of the activism or anything. And then I was like, oh, God. Everyone in Rent is garbage.
Yeah.
And then, in my early 20s, I was like, oh, I hate Rent now. But it has all these things I love, should love. Good music. It's a musical. Queer people play front and center characters.
Yeah.
But man, I just can't fucking do it anymore.
Yeah, so if you want to have a 2.5-hour lecture with Ari Kobler, you can find her on Twitter at Ari the Spy.
Or here's what you can do: if you're like, why doesn't Ari love Rent as much as I do? Go look up Lindsay Ellis's channel.
Yes,
she does a great video. Oh, first of all, her videos are amazing. So just watch all of them if you're interested in like media and long form pieces about media on YouTube. But she does a great video called Rent, Look Pretty and Do As Little As Possible.
Yes. And
she really sums up perfectly all the reasons why I don't like Rent. So just watch that video and then come back and talk to me, okay?
Yeah, it's really great.
It is really great. And so that's my example of like a thing that I should love and did for a while.
On paper, you should like it. Everything about it is something that you would like, but it's just not.
I would also say probably stuff like Twilight.
Yeah.
Or Hunger Games or Divergent.
Homestuck was that for me.
Yeah.
It was very like all my friends were into it. Everything about it, like the beats and the comedy and everything about it was stuff I should like, but I could just not get into it. And I read it for a while to keep up with my friends to see what they were talking about, but then I was just like, I'm fucking done. Like, it's too much.
By all right, should be into 50 Shades of Grey because it is about a young woman exploring her sexuality through BDSM, which are all things that I'm like into and interested about hearing about.
Just because it has the themes that you enjoy doesn't mean it does it well.
Exactly, and that's why I don't like 50
Most
Shades
of it's
Grey.
about execution.
Yeah, and that's really the thing is like, but those are things that like when I just hear the elevator pitch, I should be like, oh yeah, it's very interesting. Let me hear about this. And it's just interesting that execution just really does matter so much.
Yeah.
Some things you end up enjoying just because it has all those elements, even though it is a garbage pile of terribleness.
Yeah.
Like, I really, like, I can't say I enjoy the movie Maleficent, but if it's on, I'll watch it. And it's because it has all those elements that I like, even though it is not very good.
Yeah.
but it's mine not very good, and that's what matters.
That's how I feel about the movie Triple X.
Yeah. I'm the same way, and same with like Fast and Furious. Like I love those movies, but they are bad. They're bad.
Yeah. See, that's like I equate stuff like that, or like certain post-grunge bands like Seether. It's like, sure, you're not going to get much out of it. It's just fun. It's garbage. You're not going to get a whole lot out of it, except like maybe a little bit of angst out of it.
And everybody gets to choose their own garbage. It's always super fun. Yeah. And I think it's so poisonous that we shame. Well, okay, I'm about to get into a tangent.
That's what the T's stand for.
That's true. I think it is interesting that like people have guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
And they will talk about their guilty pleasures. And then other people will shame them for having those guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
Like, is there a person in the world right now who doesn't know that Twilight is a garbage pile? I mean, maybe. Possibly.
Well, I feel like there should be another name for it other than guilty pleasure. Because the name in itself is kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Because if you find pleasure in something, like if there is something that you like that is like a movie or a game or a music or something, and you like it, then that's great. That is something that you like. You should not feel guilty about liking something.
It's like Mein Kampf or something.
Well, that's different.
Then you should feel guilty about it.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, if it is good and if it is not at its core completely evil or disgusting, then go for it.
Yeah. Don't be a dick to other people about it.
Yeah. If it is disgusting, just make sure that all people are consenting.
Yeah, make sure you have a VPN.
Yeah.
And don't.
And you know everybody is able to consent. That's also very important. I will say this. I think that I saw a post on Tumblr the other day that was like, fandom is canceled. We're just going to go back to casually enjoying media.
Yeah.
And I wanted to stand up and cheer because
I really did.
As much as I love some aspects of fandom, I think that there are some things that just won't let people enjoy the things they want to enjoy.
Yeah.
And that really bothers me. Like, who gives a shit if some Midwestern girl is reading and loving Twilight because that's her fantasy? It's her fantasy and she knows that's not how real life works.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard arguments that are like, oh, well, it's making kids fine with pedophilia. But is it really? Like, what child out there, like, I want to see some data that says, yes, some girl is attracted to a 17-year-old looking Edward Cullen. So she starts dating, she at the tender age of 15 starts dating a 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the math really doesn't add up on that.
Yeah, like, Edward is in his 100, right? But nobody, like, fucking...
Yeah.
He looks 17. Like, and there are creepy aspects of their relationship, certainly. Like, I'm not going to deny that, but I think that as long as you have a conversation with them about it and like tell them like, no, this isn't how you should be treated. Like, I enjoy fairy tales.
Yeah,
and those always have very problematic elements.
Yeah.
All this to say,
but I grew out of that.
Don't kink shame me for liking 4-armed monster girls.
Yes. Unless you do it in the spirit of fun. In which case, fuck you, Travis.
Speaking of kink shaming, have you guys seen the Vine where the guy says, don't kink shame me?
Kink shaming people is my kink.
Oh, God, I love that.
That's
Vine.
just a humiliation kink right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's when people say kink shaming people is my kink. What they mean is humiliation is my kink.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So,
anyways, I'm going to step off the soapbox. But there are aspects of fandom I really enjoy. Like, I really do like having fan art and fanfic and stuff like that.
So stuff like that is really fucking cool.
And I enjoy talking about like meta fiction aspects of it too.
I've never been a huge fan of people who take things way too seriously. Which is why I've been very...
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Been super removed from a lot of fandoms. Like,
yeah.
I love college football. I am removed from the fandom of...
You really are, because I didn't realize that you were such a big football fan until we were like at a party at your house and everyone was like partying and you were sitting in the corner watching football.
Yeah. I have a season where I thoroughly enjoy sports, and I gotta watch me some football.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
What's up?
What is the thing that y'all are fans of that you think people would be surprised to hear that you like? I feel like I don't have any of those things. Because the first thing that pops to mind is Murder, She Wrote, but, like, is anyone shocked by that?
No.
Because I love mysteries and I love women.
You do like football. You like Mizzou football. You've told me that you enjoy it from time to time.
I do. I'm not, like, a huge fan, but I occasionally will watch a football game. I also really do enjoy boxing and wrestling.
Those are fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't follow any of it super hardcore, but I will, like, I have a favorite wrestler, and I will occasionally, like, look up his matches and see if he's a heel, if he's turned from, right now he's a heel, but I'm expecting him to turn back into a face pretty soon, so.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of surprising when you just look at me and hear me speak and learn things about my general demeanor.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, wrestling is one of those things that I avoided for a long time because I thought I would hate it, and then I got more into it, and now I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm the most casual of casual fans.
For me, there was a while ago when I was at work, and I would play music like in the morning and stuff when I opened, and I started playing classical music a lot. And for some reason, all of my employees were really like, they weren't put off by it, but they were like, it shook them a little bit because I was like standing around listening to classical music, and they were like, "I'd never took you to listen to classical music." I listen to jazz music every day. You don't think I listen to classical music too? I don't know.
Yeah.
For some, like, it feels like it should be obvious because I'm a very like musical person.
To us, it's obvious because we know you. We see your playlists. We get in the car with you. I feel like when people don't know me very well, they expect me to be into a lot of like things that everybody expects me to be into, like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad. Like, I've got a lot of people who were like, "What? You haven't seen Breaking Bad?"
Oh yeah.
And then they get to know me and they're like, "Oh, she hasn't seen anything."
Well, that was like
other than cartoons.
Like when you told me you haven't watched The Office.
Yeah.
I was like, "You haven't watched The Office?"
Okay, that is surprising.
Yeah,
not even like
especially because like you loved Parks and Rec, right?
I do love Parks and
Rec.
Yeah,
so
and 30 Rock.
I know that you will like The Office. You just need to take the time and watch it.
Here's the thing.
What has kept you from watching The Office?
Probably I had a couple of years in high school where I did a whole I don't watch TV, I only read books phase.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
I can see
yep.
doing that.
And that was when the high school was, or when The Office was like starting out.
Oh yeah.
And then eventually it just got too long and intimidating.
It's honestly not as long as you think it is.
All right, let me.
I mean, it's 9 seasons, but
if we're gonna watch all of Supernatural and talk about it,
yeah,
then I can watch The Office.
Because honestly, The Office is so lighthearted and fun that you just go through episodes.
It's like popcorn.
It's also only a 22-minute show.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying that I can't get into it, and even in my like, I don't watch TV phase, I was still watching Supernatural. And, like, probably some Law & Order. 24. Yeah, I watched 24.
Of course.
With my stepdad.
Here's what I'll say about The Office. You can probably watch the first 3 seasons to get the gist of it. And then watch the last one and be fine.
No.
Yes.
You have to at least watch up to Steve Carell leaving.
Travis will probably watch it together, so...
That. Do what?
Probably watch it together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right.
You should watch it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Like, okay, so if it's only 22 minutes, like, compared to Supernatural, that's like, I don't know, it's like 3 seasons.
Yeah, right?
For real. And there are some episodes...
I'll check it out.
There are some episodes where you can just kind of, like, not pay attention to and kind of glance over. Like, but then there's other ones that are like...
Yeah.
I feel like people are also surprised to learn that somebody is a true crime fan.
That, I don't know. Because I'm not, because true crime is not something that I would consider like a media genre.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it
is.
Yeah.
It is, but it just seems like a strange genre to me.
Here's the thing. Here's why I don't think, and I don't mean me, I think people, right? Like, like even myself, who... I am a fan of true crime. Like, if somebody's like, "Oh, I'm a fan of true crime," I'm like, "Really? It's so rare to meet another one."
Yeah.
What podcasts do you listen to? Like, stuff like that.
See, I'm not that deep. I'm not like that deep into it, but I'm not that deep into anything. Like, Dark Souls is probably the thing I'm deepest into. But
right.
That's
yeah.
because you fucking have to.
And now Supernatural because of this podcast.
I really enjoy the shows. Like I'll watch it with my mom and stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun to watch because truth is very much stranger than fiction a lot of the fucking time.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to podcasts and I read books, and it's really just an extension of my love for murder mysteries, which no one should underestimate. I want you to understand, I love murder mysteries. All right? All murder mysteries.
I feel like you're either going to have an answer to this question or you're going to look at me like I'm wearing 5 heads.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite serial killer?
Here's the thing.
5 heads.
No, it's not. Okay, I do understand why people get that question.
Yeah.
I actually don't think serial killers are super interesting.
Fair enough.
I mean, I do. Okay, that's not true.
Some are and some aren't.
Yes, and I think that serial killers tend to be a little romanticized.
They are,
and I think it's always important, like, to never forget the victims.
Yeah,
they're the ones that matter. Those are the stories that I'm interested in.
Yeah. See, that's what's cool about it though. When you get find somebody who has the whole fucking picture and has done the research.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Now, I will say this. The most interesting true crime stories that I like are not related to serial killers at all.
See, I believe that. I believe you're probably...
Like, there's this true crime story I like about this woman who convinced her father and her... I think it was either a family friend or a brother to kill... this neighbor who she was jealous of, and his wife and his child, or they left the child alive, but his wife, by pretending to be the FBI and sending emails to her mother to convince her mom that the people who were murdered were trying to take her out. And so her mom convinced her father and I think her brother to kill the young man and his wife. They had a newborn. They had a baby.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and the emails are fucking nuts because they're emails like, yeah, the young woman, I don't remember her name, it's like Jean or something. Yeah, Jean's the smartest and prettiest person in the world, so of course the FBI is super interested in protecting her. Like, if you or me read those emails, we would be like, oh, this is clearly some fucking bullshit. But her mom totally bought into them and convinced 2 other people to commit murder. Wow. Those are the stories I'm fucking interested in. Because that is like... where did your head go for this? Like, what happened? And serial killers, I think, the answers, of course, are not easy. They're never easy, but it's like, why did this guy kill all these people? Oh, well, he was psychotic. Oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That comes together.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Some of them, I find the disconnect that they have to be interesting.
I agree.
Because of the sociopathy or the psychopathy, all that. Those sorts of things, but I enjoy seeing the world through different eyes.
Yes,
and that's one you don't really like. Sure, like these days, yeah, there's a bunch of different views of those.
Well, and it's still kind of I think looked down upon to be a fan of true crime because people assume you're like
a 45 or 70-year-old woman.
No, well, possibly, but I mean, I think there's also this like tendency to romanticize the serial killers, like I mentioned earlier, or to like get into like the take advantage of these people's loss or tragedy, and that's, as a true crime fan, that's never my intention. My interest is always just in a story, like anything else.
What was that?
Like I just like a good mystery.
That Latin American guy. What was his name?
Richard Ramirez?
Yeah, Richard Ramirez. He was married in prison, and I think Ted Bundy was as well. And it's like stuff like that that gives like true crime a bad name.
Yeah.
Or being a fan of true crime.
Yeah. But it certainly is interesting to learn about.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't see the value in ignoring these stories either, because then it's just like pretending it didn't happen.
Do you enjoy like stuff like the Manson family or Heaven's Gate?
Yes, I'm very interested in those. And like Waco, and I actually think cults are fascinating. But that also stems from my idea of like my interest in religion and how people like get sucked into these cults. Yeah. And like how those cults get exposed as cults too. So So yeah, I am a huge fan of true crime. Not really like into serial killers, although I will probably watch My Friend Dahmer at some point.
Yeah.
Gonna track that movie down.
There was also, I saw a picture of Zac Efron doing a photo shoot for a movie as John Wayne Gacy.
Oh,
or
really?
no, was it John Wayne Gacy?
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, yeah.
Oh, that I could
Zac
see.
Efron is Ted Bundy for
Yeah, I
some
was going
movie.
to say, Zac Efron is John Wayne Gacy. First of all, there's already a very good John Wayne Gacy movie out there.
Yeah.
And second of all...
I had John
weird.
Wayne Gacy on the brain because of something else.
There was a book coming out about Ted Bundy, and that's what the movie is based off of. The ending got leaked, and that's where the idea of the movie got leaked. But the idea was, I think it's like his girlfriend who knew him and kind of knew what was going on, but really didn't believe it or something, or didn't put the pieces together. The idea of the movie was that you weren't supposed to know that he was Ted Bundy until the very end of the movie.
Wow,
okay.
fascinating.
Yeah. Like, I love that idea, and I'm really curious how they're going to execute that.
But also, I think that would have been impossible to keep under wraps.
Oh,
Fucking
absolutely,
A.
yeah.
Like, the picture got out, and they're like, oh, he's just a buff Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Looks incredible, though. So I'm looking forward to whatever that
It's
becomes.
Zac Efron.
I know
Yeah.
I know you think Jeffrey Dahmer is kind of boring. I actually think the man is fascinating. Because anybody who has a deathbed conversion and spends his time telling atheists that they're morally bankrupt, when he himself was a serial killer and, cannibal, like, all right, let's go into that brain a little bit. How did you make this flip?
A serial
serial rapist of children and cannibal and killer, and then, boop, actually I'm a Christian who's totally fine, and I'm going to judge these other people for not believing in God, which is just as bad as what I did. It's like, yeah, let's dissect this a little bit.
Did you mean me or Travis when you said one of us thought that Dahmer was boring?
You.
Oh, I don't find Dahmer boring. He's my least favorite serial killer. If I had to rank all of them, he would be at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not because I find him boring. It's because the story of how he was almost caught, and it was like 3 kills in or something, it's just so twisted, and I fucking hate it.
What could have been?
Oh, it's the one where the black guy got away from him.
Yeah, the kid.
Yeah, and he went to the cops. And the cops
yeah.
laughed in his fucking face and then sent him back with Dahmer
Yeah.
to his fucking death.
Yeah.
That's why Dahmer
Yeah.
is my least favorite serial
I
killer.
hope those guys got fired. But there is an excellent book that's not Dahmer, but it's based off of Dahmer called Zombie.
Yeah.
About this, told from the point of view of the killer, about this guy who wants to create his own like sex slave by a zombie by giving them a lobotomy and like a homemade lobotomy, and it's written by Joyce Carol Oates.
Oh.
One of my favorite sick writers of all time. And I would highly, if you're interested in that kind of stuff and you don't mind, I mean, that book should come with its own trigger warning, obviously. Like, if just from the description you weren't like, oh, this might not be my cup of tea because I am deeply disturbed by those things, then yeah, don't fucking read it.
Is it erotica, if you will?
Is it erotica?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing sexy about it.
Okay.
It's just disturbing. It's an interesting and frightening look into this man's brain.
Right.
Sometimes I like my fiction a little sick.
Hey, who doesn't?
I mean, like my women, but that's different.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
I like to sneeze on all the books I read.
Also, I am pretty looking forward to the second season of American Crime Story, which is about
That'd be cool.
Giovanni
Versace.
and his assassination.
Yeah, you only read comic books that have contracted tuberculosis.
Yeah.
It's a very specific.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Oh, man.
Travis,
Yeah.
this episode is called Simon Says.
Simon Says.
What do you think it's about?
Sam and Dean go to a convention. And... No. Hang on. Let me start over.
I really hope
Hang
if
on.
we do get fan art by this point that, well, at any point, that if we get like animated things, that people animate these.
Yes. Oh, that would be cool.
Okay. So
Give us some
Sam
more
and
quick.
Dean go to a place. It's kind of like a place where people go and hang out.
Well, like the hug
And it-
from.
Yeah, they go out, they interact with each other. It's like a daytime thing. And then it turns out that they get trapped there. And they try to escape, but now they're like part of this like group of people that have to stay there all the time. And so they try to escape, and eventually they're able to like leave through the trash. And then they like take the trash truck all the way down a little too far, and it gets to the junkyard, and then they almost get incinerated. But the power of love, the power of love pulls them out and stops the incinerator.
Is this a little toaster?
No, it's Toy Story 3.
Yeah. You sick fuck. You son of a bitch.
Didn't this happen in the Little Toaster though? The Brave Little Toaster.
No, this is purely. Toy Story 3.
it was straight up the ending of Toy Story 3.
I feel like there's a moment where somebody gets.
There is in like the Brave Little Toaster, and it's probably, I don't know if it's equally or a little bit more fucked up than the ending of Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
because Toy Story 3 is pretty much just Schindler's List for kids.
Brave Little Toaster rides again.
But yeah, I cry my eyes out at the end of Toy Story 3 all the time.
Girl, me too.
But so...
Yeah, I think if you don't cry at the end of Toy Story 3, like, you're a stronger woman than I.
No, they're robots.
Yeah.
Or a stronger robot than I am.
But, yeah, let's see if that happens.
So do
you let's find out.
Do you cry full synthetic oil?
Yes.
We are back.
Yeah.
Back like a heart attack. Back. From somebody who didn't listen to their doctor.
Yeah.
Back like a Mac.
Back like a black.
Back like baby back ribs.
Black.
Back.
Back in black.
Back like baby got back.
Back like the McRib.
Back like smack talk.
Back.
In a roast battle.
Tack. Lack. Smack.
Whack.
Knick knack paddywhack, give the dog a bone.
Yes, anyway, so the point is that we watched an episode.
Yeah.
Simon said.
Which is surprising because there's no one named Simon in this episode at all.
No, it's just like a fun.
Yeah. Kind of like the
a name.
Kind of like
the title. Kind
of like the episode titles of this show.
Yeah.
It don't make any sense.
Nothing matters. Nothing matters at all. It was a fun episode. I definitely would give this one like a 10++.
Oh, absolutely. This was a good one.
I have to say, already season 2 is shaping up to be a better season than season 1.
It really is. Didn't start off strong with the clown thing.
No, but it's really, I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, but it's really pulled out of the gate.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it. So do you want to do a quick sum up?
Yeah, sure.
And then we can begin?
Rock and roll.
All right, so it opens with Sam getting a vision. What's he getting a vision of? A kindly old man who smiles when he walks down the street like a fucking idiot. Yeah. He smiled the whole time he was walking down the street. Nobody's that happy.
He's in a small town in Nebraska.
Nobody is that happy.
Not in Nebraska.
Not in Nebraska.
You think Cornhuskers are that goddamn happy?
So he's walking down the street, and he gets a call from somebody. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, he's like visibly displeased. He walks into a gun shop, he buys a gun, he shoots the owner, and then he shoots himself.
Yeah.
And then Sam's like, whoa, vision just happened. Mm-hmm. Everything's crazy. So they find this town with the help of Ash. Of course, they go back to the roadhouse, right?
Dr. Badass.
Dr. Badass. And it turns out that there's this guy in this town named Andy Gallagher, who, when he was 6 months old, his mom died in a fire, and now people are dying in strange ways around him. Crazy shit is happening.
Yeah, so
I know I said around.
We're already zoned in on psychic.
Yeah, already it's like another Psychic Kid episode, much like last season's episode. Nightmare, I think.
Something like that.
Something evil afoot.
Yeah.
And Sam's worried that Max turned out to be a killer. Mm-hmm. The demon has plans for him, and now this Andy guy is probably killing people.
Yeah.
This is bad news bears. Like, Sam's afraid he's going to turn out crazy evil, right? He feels like a freak. That word is actually brought up a couple of times. Mm-hmm. What if I'm a psychic freak? Blah, blah, blah. And Dean, of course, is trying to assure him, but you can tell Dean's kind of nervous, too. So they get to Nebraska. Sam ends up stopping the kindly doctor guy from going into the gun shop and buying a gun and killing himself. And Dean follows Andy. And Andy, it just seems as chipper as you can please. He has a badass van.
Yeah, super badass van.
With a with a woman, a barbarian queen, riding a polar bear.
Barbarian queen. What a strong female figure on there.
Spinal Tap throughout the entire episode.
It was fantastic.
That was fantastic when they played Stonehenge from Spinal Tap.
It was great.
What the fuck?
I was like, good fucking job, Supernatural
that was a
music
solid
guys.
pull by Travis, I must say.
It was.
If there is one thing I know, it is this fucking Spinal Tap movie.
I think the only song that would have been better would have been Pink Submarine.
Yeah.
Today's been full of dick jokes.
Yeah.
So, Dean's following him, Andy, and Andy kind of stops and gets out and is like, oh my god, I love your fucking car. And Dean's like, yeah.
Thanks.
It's cool. And Andy's like, cool, can I have your car? And Dean's like, fuck yeah, you can. And steps out of the car and walks away, and Andy drives away with the car. And then Dean's like,
oh, what?
Oh, I've made a mistake. Meanwhile, the kindly old doctor guy gets another call and then walks in front of a bus.
Yeah.
And Sam's right there.
A bus that was going very quickly for the street.
Very fast. Very, very fast.
Almost like the bus driver had been called and told that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah,
by
probably.
mysterious phone. That's another thing. The doctor, before he died, was like, hey, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
So...
This is fine.
Earlier in the episode, Sam and Dean went to a cafe to try to find Andy, and they meet this super enthusiastic busboy.
Yeah.
Who's just like, yeah, Andy's the fucking best.
Andy's the greatest.
His goddamn tits.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, calm down. Stop trying to suck this guy's dick, enthusiastic busboy. His name is Weber.
He's coming on a little too strong.
Little strong. And Tracy, who is the owner and has possibly had some sort of romantic past with Andy. And basically, Tracy's the person who was like, yeah, check out the van. So after the doctor died, it turns out Andy knows this guy. His name's Dr. Jennings.
Yeah.
And he shows up at this cafe, and he's distraught. He's just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I can't believe this happened. This guy was in my life. And Tracy was like, hey, it's cool. I'm here for you. I really miss you. And you can kind of feel like they're going to rekindle this relationship. Mm. And then Tracy's like, oh, also there are those two mysterious guys looking for you. And Andy's like, oh, time to go investigate
mysterious guys.
Yeah.
Puts on his Sherlock Holmes hat.
Yeah, and walks away, a deer hunter, and walks out of there. So, Andy finds Sam and Dean and tries to whammy them away.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, fuck yeah, I'll leave. Yeah. Also, I'm really actually nervous about this thing. We hunt demons, Sam's psychic.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, oh, I'm not affected by this at all. Mm-hmm. So let's have a conversation, Andy. Meanwhile, Sam has a vision of this blonde woman setting herself on fire at a gas station.
Yeah, which was fucking nuts.
Very upsetting. And Dean's like, all right, I'm going to go check that out. Sam, you stay here with Andy. Dean gets to the fire, to the gas station. She's already done it, so there's no way Andy's the murderer.
Yeah.
And Andy doesn't know this woman, unlike the doctor. And Dean is like, all right, I'm going to investigate into this. Sam, Andy, you hang out here and talk about your, fears and worries and hopes and dreams.
Yep.
And again, Sam is like, oh, I'm really worried about what's happening with this demon. So Dean does some investigating. It turns out that the woman is actually Andy's birth mom. Andy was adopted. So they go to get the records that have been sealed. And of course, for Andy, this is like piece of cake because he can mind control people. And it turns out that Andy has a goddamn twin. And who's the twin? But Weber, the guy at the diner, whose real name is Ansem Weems.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something about that once the wrap-up is done.
Yeah, I'm almost there, buddy.
We'll get there, Mr. Kingdom.
So, Ansem has his eyes on Tracy and is like, Tracy, guess what? It's time to go to Murder Town. Yeah. Murder Town. Let's all take a drive to Murder Town.
Time to
I like to think that coercion and that sort of thing is murder. And Tracy obviously is very distraught by this. Sam gets a vision of the court, so they're able to rush over there. Sam and Andy try to save Tracy. It turns out that Ansem is way more advanced than Andy is because he doesn't even have to tell people to do something.
Yeah.
He can just do it with his mind. That's how he's able to incapacitate Sam. So he's got Tracy standing up on the bridge. Ansem's like, you're my brother and I love you. And the reason why I had to kill those people was because they separated us. The yellow-eyed person told me to. He's the one who brought us together. Yeah. Meanwhile, Dean's like, time to sniper this fucking bitch. So it's like, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere, except Ansem can fucking tell he's there, and he's like, peace out, bro. Bye-bye forever. And then right before Dean blows his brains out and Tracy almost jumps off the fucking pier. Damn. Andy shoots Ansem in the back of the head.
Yes.
They lie to the cops.
Pop, motherfucker.
Everybody's like,
also very
Ansem
easy
killed
for
himself.
Andy to do.
Yeah, again.
He killed himself by shooting himself in the back of the head.
I need you to believe me.
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth.
Hit a weirdly long right arm.
Yes. And
well, I guess you could kind of.
Andy is distraught. Tracy is scared of him because he's never used his mind control powers on her before tonight, but he had to save her life.
Which is really sweet.
It's really sweet and also very sad.
Yeah.
And Andy's like, what am I supposed to do now? Sam's like, I'm here for you, bro. And then right after Andy's out of earshot, he's like, well, guess Andy's a killer, just like I'm going to become.
Yeah.
And Dean's like, what the fuck, Sam? Like, fuck, come on, man.
Come on.
The fuck on.
Calm down for like 2 seconds. You're not going to be the next fucking Jeffrey Dahmer,
Yeah,
all
we
right?
were all like that too. We were like, Sam, chill the fuck
Yeah,
out.
we were like, Sam, could you not for like 2.5 seconds about this? This is clearly a self-defense thing. He saved everybody's life,
Yeah.
all right?
Calm your game.
Yeah,
The
I need
needs
you
of
to...
the many. The
yeah.
needs of the many,
Yeah,
Sam.
come on. I need you to be like a titch more Vulcan about this.
Jesus.
Dean and Sam get called back to the roadhouse, and Ellen is like, I know what you guys have been up to. We need to have a conversation about this now. We need to figure out how many psychic kids are going around and, you know, possibly being extremely dangerous or not. And Dean's like, okay, well, we know they, you know, on their 6-month birthday, there's a fire in their homes that usually killed the mom. And Sam's like, actually, that wasn't the case with Ansem. There doesn't always have to be a fire.
Yeah.
And Ellen's like, so we have no way of knowing.
Nope.
And then it ends on an excellent song.
Yeah.
And that's that episode.
So, first of all, I want to put out there, if you're going to name your child Ansem, you're just signing that child up for a life of evil.
Oh, you might as well be like, and you will be a dictator of a small country.
100% of people named Ansem have tried to claim the power of Kingdom Hearts. That's all I'm saying.
I think there's a certain list of names that I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to name your child these names. I'm just saying you probably shouldn't because they're going to grow up to be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil.
Chad.
Yeah. Also, going back to fucking Gallagher, things I learned from Oasis, you can't trust a Gallagher.
I guess so.
Things I learned from
Especially
Shameless, you can't trust a Gallagher.
Very true.
So, there you go. I loved this episode. I know we said that at the top, but I just wanted to reiterate it. It was, like, just so good. It's fun.
It was good.
It has enough lighthearted moments, and it feels serious enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the stakes are there.
Like you said, you can always tell it's a good episode when you don't have many notes.
I really didn't, like, take down many notes. I really loved... who doesn't enjoy a good evil twin story?
Yeah.
Like, evil twins are so much fun, and they've been around since the dawn of time. Like, they're so great.
Especially a good slip where you don't know he's that close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's been outside of my bedroom window the whole time.
Exactly, and that's kind of like what was going on with this, where
Yeah.
Weber was like super into being friends with Andy, and Andy was like, "Oh, that Weber dude's kind of weird."
Yeah. Which, like, I liked the line where Andy is trying to talk Ansem down from killing everybody, and Andy's like, hey, man, if you find out you have a secret twin brother, you fucking give me a call, okay?
Yeah.
You don't just show up and get all murder 911. Like, that's not what you do.
Yeah.
Oh, other great, hilarious moments in this episode. Mostly they were me being hilarious reacting to the episode. There's the part in the beginning when Dean's trying to convince Sam that he's not a killer.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, I am a killer. I kill things all the time. That is literally my job. And Dean's like, yeah, but those things, we're asking for it. I was like, okay. Let's see if that holds up in a court of law. Like, cool motive, bro. Still murder.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, Brooklyn 99. All right.
I really did think it was sweet when Andy was like, I've never used my powers on Tracy before.
Yeah.
Because you kind of, when we first meet Andy in the episode, they kind of frame him up to be this kind of like...
douchebag
sleazeball who's figured out that he can live off the grid with his psychic powers by getting people to just give him stuff.
Right.
Because when we see him, he's like leaving the apartment of a buxom woman and taking somebody's coffee out of their hand and just walking down the street. And he just like lives his life free and does whatever he wants.
He does have a good like exchange with Sam because he's like, your life could be so much better, but he's like, I've got exactly what I need.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and it showed like
out of all
him knowing that he has these crazy powers hasn't made him insane.
Yeah, it's nice to see a character who's like, yeah, I've got these superpowers, and it's actually kind of cool, man. Sorry, you got the murder vision powers. That must fucking suck.
Yeah, that was a fun exchange. It was like, God, death visions? That blows.
And then we have a situation where the plot thickens because Sam is immune to Andy's powers.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a Christmas morning where like one brother gets One by the Beatles and the other brother gets The Wall by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I also I just liked Andy in general. He turned out to be cool.
I was a little uncomfortable in the beginning because he walks out of that buxom woman's apartment, and I was immediately like, oh, rapist. Andy's a rapist.
Yeah.
Because he whammied that woman to having sex with him. That is under false pretenses. That is a no. But in 2005, everybody was chill with that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It feels like something that's like a very upsetting joke. You know how like nowadays everybody's like, "Oh, Zach Morris, such a huge dick."
Yeah.
This is what I feel like. Like at the time when I watched it, I was like, hilarious, and now I'm like, not good. But overall, I enjoyed Andy.
Yeah. And like I said, I thought it was sweet where he was like, oh, I've never used my powers on Tracy, which means he never forced her to do anything she didn't want to.
Yeah, their relationship was real. Mm-hmm. Which is definitely something that, like, I had a question about when Tracy was like, I miss you. I was like, Andy is whammied his ex-girlfriend, but...
I think it was supposed to be framed that way.
I agree.
Until we got to the conflict with the Weber.
That being said, Ansem was very
he was very like, ooh, I take all the girls here, and they like it. Well, they like it because I like it. And I was like,
they like it because I don't like it.
It was gross.
Yeah.
There was this moment where like Again, if you want to survive Supernatural and you're a woman, don't wear anything white. Yeah. Not even white underwear, all right?
Not even a white slip.
Because Ansem is like, oh, take off your dress. And she's got a fucking white slip underneath. And I'm like, oh, that's the fucking color of death in this show.
Yeah.
It's white, women in white slips. First episode, fucking Candace, or the woman in white, wore white. Well, yeah. I mean, she had to, but you know what I'm saying.
That is true.
Everybody's wearing goddamn white. But Ansem's like, take it off slower. And literally all three of us were like, oh,
yeah.
No! I wrote down slower. Jeers and boos.
Yeah.
Jeers and boos from the Peanut Gallery.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about this episode.
I have more thoughts and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
What you got?
We kind of see Joe in the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit, because we get some more stuff revealed about Ellen and Joe, and I kind of want to talk about that. And Ash.
When y'all were singing REO together in unison?
When all three of us were singing REO together in unison. Don't deny this.
I don't deny it.
Don't deny this feeling anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's as much as we can say.
Yeah, there's some like light banter between Joe and Dean, so you know that's gearing up to be like a cutie, flirty.
Yeah, it was kind of fun seeing like, because when we first saw Joe and Dean, it was like Dean kind of flirting with Joe.
Yeah,
and now we're seeing Joe kind of flirt with Dean.
Yeah,
and Dean was like, let's kind of get on the down low with this because your mom is scary.
Yeah, your mom was hilarious.
Your mom will beat me up if
She's got a gun pointed at me right now.
Yeah, with her mind.
Yeah.
There is this great moment where like we kind of see Joe's like ready to fly the nest.
Yeah.
Like she's ready to get out and do some hunts.
She is kind of like, oh, what do I got to do bar stuff?
I can help you. I can help you figure out what's going on. Because Dean and Sam go to get Ash to like triangulate where this new vision is.
Yeah, and they were like, we need Ash, and she was like, oh, but I can help.
I can also help you guys hunt.
I want to give you
And then apparently she's like a dead ringer of a shot because of she was hustling everyone on that fucking hunting game.
Yeah.
Not that, shooting a plastic hunting infrared gun is the same as shooting a real gun, but she's probably also very good at shooting a real gun.
She's got skills.
Yeah.
She's got skills.
I kind of want to give you a small hint about Joe and Joe, about her dad. You remember the episode of Cowboy Bebop, Heavy Metal Queen?
Yeah, is it like that?
It's very similar.
Oh!
Only there's no prairie oysters.
Damn.
Also, I have to say, I'm actually the Heavy Metal Queen in that episode kind of reminds me of Ellen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's such a good episode. Go watch Cowboy Bebop, guys.
Yeah.
Tips from Sleepy Ari.
Do that,
Yep.
Go
just
watch.
like
That's going on Facebook. Tips from Sleepy Ari. Go watch Cowboy Bebop.
yeah, that's what you need to do right now.
The only episodes you need to watch: Mushroom Samba, Mushroom
Oh,
Samba.
just a
Mushroom
great.
Samba.
That's
you need to
the one-
watch all of it
I'm kidding.
from beginning to end.
All
Yeah.
of it is great. Stray Dog Struts, Brain Scratch,
Battle of the Fallen Angels.
Toys in the Attic,
Toys in the Attic's a good one.
Yeah.
Toys in the Attic is great. There's also the
Black Dog. Is that the name of the episode about Jets past?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
There's also Jupiter.
Jazz.
Jupiter Jazz.
Parts 1 and
Jazz is
2.
a good one.
Yes, the series, the finale is really great. The two-parter finale is excellent as well.
The movie is fan-fucking-tastic, too.
Yeah, the movie is
Yeah,
good. The
one of
movie
the
is
few
basically an hour
great
and a half
anime
long
movies.
episode.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about Cowboy Bebop.
We gush
Slowly
too much.
turning Hey Assbutt into an anime podcast.
One day at a time. I really love Ellen in this, especially. There's this little look she gives Dean when Dean's like, "Yeah, I'm afraid your mom's gonna fucking kill me."
Yeah.
The only moment where I was like, ugh, in the entire all of her interactions, when she has this line that's look.
It wasn't perfect.
Supernatural is not like Supernatural's dialogue is so unique.
It's not high literature.
Yeah,
or
like
anything.
it's not. Nobody's winning any fucking Emmys over here, right?
Yeah.
And some of it is like crazy wonderful in the best way, right? Like this moment at the end when Sam is like, Dean, I know you're afraid. Like, I know you're a little scared of what's happening. And Dean's like, "Bop, that was a...
Oh, yeah.
I got whammy. That was mind control. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
Call it do-over. Do-over. And Sam's like, what the... You can't do that. And Dean's like, yep, well, I can. Calling it do-over.
That was fun.
So, like, the moments like that, it's like, yeah, the dialogue is, like, not the best, but it's, like, just weird enough to stay interesting.
It's got that genuine feel to it.
It's got a kinetic sort of way to it. And then Ellen, so Dean and Sam are like, we can't tell you about the demon business because, it's family business. And Ellen says, this isn't just your war, this is war.
Yeah.
And immediately after she said that line, the three of us in a round
just found better ways to say that
better
line.
ways to say it. I was like, this is war. Just this is war.
Yeah.
You had one, Travis. What was yours?
Like, this isn't just your war, it's our war.
Yeah. What about
Something
you?
big is on the way.
Mine was, this isn't just your battle, it's our war.
Yeah. It's just like
War never changes.
war.
What is it good for?
Yeah.
All right,
Like
that's 10
anything.
seconds.
Anything would be better than that.
Yeah.
It was just like a little clumsy.
Yeah.
So
was like
sometimes
Megadeth
that
lyrics.
happens. It definitely happened a couple times last season where we were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, this line is not very good." I'd rather it be like crazy, like just beyond terrible.
Like shag ass.
Shag ass. Or like in the last episode when Dean was like, you can't bring your daughter back from the dead. Haven't you seen Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
It's just like, not a very good line.
What goes in the ground should stay in the ground.
Fine, I guess, you know, so. So yeah, I really like that. I really love Ellen. Do you want to talk about Ash's monster dong?
Yeah, so Ash...
My personal headcanon is that Ash is carrying, like, a soft 8.
Yeah, probably.
No, he's just got a third leg.
So
it's just a kickstand.
When
he's
we,
like 5'6".
When we see Ash, he's like holed up in his room, and it's there's a sign on his door that says "Dr. Badass." The Dr. Badass is in, or something like that.
With like the little sign that can flip over from in and out.
Yeah, and so Sam is at the door, and he's like, "Ash, Ash, Ash." Ash, that makes it sound like he's masturbating. He's like, Ash, 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 Ash. And then Dean walks up and he's like, hey, Dr. Badass. And so immediately Ash opens the door.
With like a fucking strobe light?
Yeah, there's like a strobe light in the background. And then he's
it's what
like...
I imagine Travis has going on in his room when he has the door shut. I imagine if I just knock on the door and I'm like, excuse me, Dr. Facilier. You would open the door and be like, yeah, what's up? There's a strobe light. You wouldn't say anything, but you'd have like a pair of sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I'd hear cheering from inside your room and be like, oh, what's going on? Can I come in? No, I can't.
So...
There's just an entire soccer game happening.
Except you wouldn't go. Okay, except you wouldn't say anything. I would just get from your looks that I'm not allowed to come in.
But so Ash is at the door and he like cracks it open about 6 inches, so you can see that he's pretty much naked.
Oh, he is.
And he like you can see him like
buff.
from the waist. Yeah, he's like completely naked, and he's like, "What do you guys want? What are you guys doing?"
But
He's
it's
like,
like-
"Oh, I'll help you out." He's like, "Yeah, you should put on some pants first." So he's like, obviously he's naked, and we were all just like, "What if he's got like a Willem Dafoe monster cock?"
Ben said, do y'all think his dick is inside or outside the door? And I was like, oh, outside.
Absolutely
100%.
outside.
He's got a huge dick.
That freak flag is flying.
Yeah, it's strong. It's going well.
Do you think because of the strobe lights and stuff? Do you think it was like full mast?
I think he was...
You think... Wait, strobe lights give you erections?
Well, no.
People get turned on by weird shit.
But I accept that, but
I
Ash's
think
a
he was
grown-ass
like
man.
having a kinky time with his strobe light,
Oh.
and he'd probably get interrupted.
So
So
like do some sensory deprivation shit.
See,
Yeah.
I think Ash is a man that's comfortable with his body and just enjoys being naked sometimes.
probably.
He only put on those pants because Dean and Sam were uncomfortable. If Dean and Sam had gotten over their body issues, he would have been fine with them.
That's true.
Here's the
Would
thing:
have stayed naked the whole time.
you don't just spring a dick on somebody.
Also true.
I mean, I agree.
Especially if you have a Willem Dafoe monster cock.
Yeah, especially if it's like
One that's the size of this goddamn jar of
Yeah.
pork rinds.
if your
a bad
dick can
dragon
generously
cock.
be if your dick can underwhelmingly be described as 2 large cans of tomatoes stacked on top of each other. You don't just surprise people with that. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta keep that locked
Yeah,
away
you
somewhere.
gotta
safe.
ease it in.
We're describing nightmare dicks, which
If you
is
look like
incidentally the name of my first album. We are describing nightmare dicks.
if you look like you could satisfy a hippopotamus,
Ah, no,
Oh,
you made
God.
it weird, Ben.
Ah,
You made it
Yeah.
weird.
yeah,
Ben made it weird.
I took it too far.
You
Monster
did.
cocks, Willem Dafoe cock, soft 8. None of that was too far.
It wasn't.
But yeah, bestiality's too far for this anime podcast.
It was. Whoa, what are you trying to say about anime? We're not
Yeah.
an anime podcast yet. We're like a third of the way there.
Yeah, you're aiming for
Probably.
anime. I'm aiming for hentai. Oh, we got weird.
Yeah, we did.
We can have a conversation about hentai one day.
We're not going to.
Yep, nope, not on the show.
Not on the air.
Oh, no, off the air.
Yeah.
Or maybe for our Patreon listeners.
You can-
Aha, we don't have a Patreon page.
You can,
Not yet.
you can feel free to cut from Satisfy up until this point if you want.
We'll see what happens.
I really did not write down any notes. I'm like, God, I've said all of these. And normally I have notes left over.
Well, you are on like the 40-hour mark.
That's fair enough. I, like, literally For the season finale of last season, I was looking back at those notes the other day, and I was like, wow, I didn't say a diddly damn thing of these.
Yeah.
And there was some funny stuff in there, but I really did like and I like the season finale too. I had more to say, but
yeah.
I really did like this episode, and I like that the plot thickens. Like,
it does.
In a way that I feel is very organic.
Oh, yeah, because it's like, obviously more people are starting to be affected by the yellow-eyed demon.
Right.
So we're on...
yeah, the mystery...
Yeah, we're on this, like, hunt.
Yeah.
It's like a time clock now.
What does Yellow Eyes want? Are all of these powers, like, terrible boo-boo powers? Mm-hmm. Or are some of them fine?
Looking back to where you've seen the
terrible
season...
boo-boo powers.
I'm very tired. I'm falling asleep right now.
Oh, my God.
Looking back to where you've seen the season go so far...
Uh-huh.
Would you say the clown episode was worth it? Because of the forced exposition, like the lackluster monster.
The clown episode...
It was a means to an end.
It was a means to an end. It should have been framed differently.
Fucking A.
The clown episode could have been its own weird thing without the forced exposition.
And maybe it should have been, because Scary Clowns is definitely something that Supernatural could explore.
Yeah.
It did.
Let's let this be the last time we talk about the clown episode until the season finale. Because I want to get past it. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
The clown episode should have been its own episode. The second episode should have been introductions to Ellen, if that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And then have a mystery centered around Ellen. Have Ellen be part of the plot.
Yeah.
Instead of just exposition or a device. Like... have her be part of the story, a character who does something, so we find out more about her. It doesn't have to be too much. We can still be unsure of her motives or whatever.
I had forgotten how little Bobby has to do with the show.
This early?
Yeah.
Yeah. In later seasons, we won't go an episode without seeing Bobby.
Oh, wow.
For a while.
Yeah, maybe every once in a while, there won't be Bobby in an episode. And even then, even in the episodes he doesn't feature heavily in, he'll still be, mentioned, or we'll get, a
phone call
or something.
Interesting.
So, yeah, it's really interesting to see them. Although I will say this, one of the things I complained about last season was the lack of women, and we're getting into the women, like Ellen and Meg, spoiler alert, Meg comes back.
I already knew that.
Yeah. Ellen and
Joe
are really awesome. I enjoy them a lot.
I can tell that they're awesome.
Yeah, they're the bee's knees.
Cool.
Potatoes. So, what do you think is going to happen next?
What do I think is going to happen next?
Yeah, you're slowly getting things revealed to you. Seriously, what do you think is going to happen? Okay. Not a joke.
So obviously we're kind of on the trail of the Yellow Eyes monster, but now the trail has been even more obscured because it's obvious that even though some people were affected by fires and their moms dying, that hasn't happened to every single one. But do we know if that is just a flub because they were twins, or is there truly no pattern? And the pattern has been broken, and there's no way to track him.
I think at this point, it's not really a spoiler to say that if Mary Winchester had not gone into that nursery that night, she would not be dead.
Okay. So it's situational deaths.
Yes. If somebody enters the nursery and figures out what's up, I think they get killed. I might be wrong. I might be misremembering this. What do you think, Ben?
If somebody... So it's when the demon gets interrupted.
Yes.
Is when the death happens.
Yeah, and the fire.
Okay.
I think it's very much that it's situational.
Yeah. So Ansem's parents didn't interrupt him. Or didn't interrupt the demon.
Yeah.
And Andy's did.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's still, up in the air whether or not he killed them or not. He probably did. Ansem?
The demon?
No, Ansem.
Ansem killed his parents. That's believable. But the point is that the mom didn't die in a fire when Ansem was 6 months old.
Yeah,
right.
Because he killed her by setting her on fire by using her.
Well, no, the adoptive mom.
The adoptive mom.
Because Andy's adoptive mom died.
Oh,
because he didn't know he was adopted.
Or he did know, but he didn't feel the need to mention it.
Also, can I say that scene of the lady like pouring gas all over herself?
Oh,
That's exactly what happens when we let people in Portland pump their own gas.
Sorry, Portland.
That's all I could think about that whole time that was happening.
Oh, really? All I could think about was, wow, this is a horrific way to die. And I hope if I ever get mind controlled unto my own death, it is more peaceful than this.
Yeah, that's true.
Anson is one sick motherfucker.
His name is Ansem.
Yeah, but I mean, look. Okay, let's say I'm a murderous mind controller. Which, as far as you know, I'm not. All right. If I'm going to order people to die, I'm going to do it humanely.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm not a colossal dick.
How would you do it?
Okay, so presumably I can mind control them?
Yeah.
Force them to take a bunch of pills or something.
Yeah, that's good.
Something that lets them, fall asleep peacefully. Force them to break into a hospital and inject themselves with, the drugs that we use for
executions,
euthanasia or executions or whatever. Something that I would consider harmless, or even a gun to the brain, because at least that's quick.
You could also make them just stop breathing.
Yeah, that's true. I could order them to stop breathing or something.
Make them go to sleep and stop breathing.
Yeah, make them go to sleep and never wake up. Anything other than have my victim be set on fire by herself. That's terrifying.
That was a little nuts.
And very painful.
Do you think if you had mind control powers, you could force someone to have a brain aneurysm?
I think that's a little too much.
It has to be, I think with mind control powers, that is interesting to think about.
Yeah.
And I think it is interesting to think, could I force somebody to stop breathing? But I do think it has to be within the ability of the person to do. You couldn't force somebody to fly.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't... I think,
an aneurysm is a naturally occurring thing.
Yeah, but you can't force an aneurysm on yourself.
I think you would need to be telekinetic to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be able to, reach into somebody's heart telekinetically and, stop their heart, or, make their blood clot or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Which
that would be a telekinetic power.
I think you could do if you were strong enough.
Yeah.
But I think a mind control power, it is controlling actions rather than
intent sometimes.
Yeah.
Although apparently you can force somebody to calm down.
Yeah.
You cannot think your way into an aneurysm. Well, as far as I know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I don't know enough about brains.
You don't think about an aneurysm so hard that you have an aneurysm.
Right. Or you can't force an aneurysm on somebody. I guess you can have a stress aneurysm? I don't know. How do aneurysms happen? I just thought they were random.
Hey, Siri.
No, it's not. I don't care that much. But I'm going to go. So that is interesting. And I do like the idea of, could I order somebody to sleep forever if I have mind control powers? I don't know. Maybe.
Depending on the right intellectual properties universe, I believe you could.
Oh, very interesting. Obviously Andy was just kind of dicking around, getting free coffees and stuff. But not really
getting rid of his debt.
Yeah, getting rid of his debt, stuff like that. But
see, that would have been a smart move. It's tricking the people that you won the lottery or something.
I take issue with the fact that everybody seems to think that Andy's a goddamn genius because he reads some Kant. All right? Look.
Yeah.
Everybody's read some Kant. You're not that goddamn special.
I don't think they were inferring that he was a genius or anything. I just think he may have gotten bored with his current lifestyle and he wanted to challenge himself some.
That is kind of a genius thing to do.
Genius.
Yeah. Well, that's Ansem. That's him trying to talk up Andy because he wants to be his friend.
Yeah.
That's Ansem, my tongue is so far up my brother's asshole. I'm digging for fucking corn.
Ben made it weird.
Ben made it weird again.
I'm sleepy and got a fever. I'm going to make shit weird.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry you're sick, Benjamin.
It's fine.
And you came in and you did this anyways. You're committed.
I figured, we're not going to get into that. But,
right,
but thank you.
We would have annoyed you about it until you came.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We would have been like, fuck you.
I was like, I didn't call out yesterday. I'm not going to call it today. I may call out tomorrow. But...
Okay, then let's go ahead and talk about...
Evil Twins?
Evil Twins!
Yeah!
Yeah, I didn't want to do mind control because I didn't want to do mind control.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wanted to do Evil Twins.
Yeah, Evil Twins sounds way more interesting than
Evil Twins
mind
are
control.
Cool as shit. And I have to say, from this research I did, I'm very surprised by some of it.
Yeah.
For example, our old friend, the religion Zoroastrianism, comes back into play again.
No way.
Yahweh. Evil twins have been around for a very, very long time in a lot of myth.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're dealing with duality, like Zoroastrianism does, and, you know, the nature of good versus evil.
All right, so I'm very disappointed in both of us, Travis.
Why?
We watched an episode about evil twins. Neither one of us made a goddamn Metal Gear Solid reference.
Oh, God. That fucking sucks. I can't
Okay,
believe it.
hold
Never
on.
too late.
I have to talk about my Metal Gear Solid story. So, you know how I have not known what Metal Gear Solid is?
Yeah.
Yes. I want you to find out about it. It's a beautiful thing.
So I started
Yeah.
watching Travis play Metal Gear Solid 5.
She watched me
Yeah.
play the intro.
The intro, yeah.
Yeah.
And I suggested that Travis gets to choose a name for his character, right? Who's Big Boss.
Uh-huh.
I suggested that he change the name to Choke Me Clone Daddy.
Yes!
Because it turned out to be a perfect name.
Yeah.
Because Big Boss is a clone daddy, which I already knew before the start of the game.
Yes.
But then, in that opening scene, he gets choked by that woman
Yep.
until this other guy comes and saves him. And I am telling you, it would have been perfect. Choke Me Clone Daddy is a perfect name. And then he chokes her back, I think, a little bit. And Travis decided to go with something stupid. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, I'm a dumb face.
I really
I can't
wait.
remember what I named them either.
Choke Me Clone Daddy is his name now.
I hope to fuck y'all beat this game.
I'm not going to beat that.
Oh, I immediately stopped watching.
Yeah.
After he didn't name the character Choke Me Clone Daddy.
No, you watched a little bit.
I watched more than that.
No, that game actually makes me really motion sick, so I can only play like 30 minutes of it at a time.
If I play, can I name the character Choke Me Clone Daddy?
I guess so.
Yay!
I just got my new hard drives at my parents' house, so I can go get it.
Yes.
Do you want me to explain the idea behind the Metal Gear Solid reference?
No.
Fair enough. I mean, it's good and you'll appreciate it. And
All right, tell me about it.
All right, so in Metal Gear Solid 1, you play as Solid Snake.
Right. And you meet Liquid Snake, who's your evil twin.
Exactly.
Nah, I did see. I knew the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So the idea between like RNA and like DNA, right? All right. So because Solid Snake and Liquid Snake are brothers, twin brothers, the idea was that they had to make one of them so they could make the other one.
Huh.
So one of them is all of Big Boss's DNA. The other one is all the exact opposite shit, all of like the recessive genes and not all the dominant genes.
Yeah, I think I told you that too.
I don't remember. So,
But-
like, if Solid Snake is, like, super big and buff and has brown eyes, and Liquid Snake is, like, made of liquid?
He's like sleek and skinny and has blue eyes.
Oh, okay, I see.
The idea is throughout the entire game, you don't know which is which.
Yeah.
Oh, they look alike.
They do look alike. They kind of have the same face.
But
They-
as you play, you don't know if you're playing as the dominant gene or the recessive gene.
yeah.
Yeah.
Liquid thinks he is to make you think that you are not.
Uh-huh.
And even at the end of the goddamn game, it still leaves you fucking questioning which is which.
Interesting.
It's such a beautiful mind fuck.
Yeah, it wasn't until we actually like saw Big Boss that
Yeah.
we knew.
It's more like mind romance, really.
Yeah.
Back to my thing about evil
All of
twins,
that for that-
which very nice example of evil twins in pop media, a section we will be getting to later in this little mini lecture I have. So in Zoroastrianism, they have Ahura Mazda, who I mentioned back in episode. The episode name was Shadow. Go check it out. And Travis will have the episode name.
Nope.
That's our episode to put in the show notes.
Oh, well, if you just want our episode name.
Yeah, our episode name. I already know the episode in Supernatural.
Do you know the number?
It's like 15, 16, something. We'll get it later. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I have no clue.
We'll figure it out. But, and then you've got Angra Mainyu, who's bad, and there's sort of this idea that Ahura Mazda is going to fight Angra Mainyu, and, you know, win in the end, and save the world, and kiss the girl, and all that jazz. And then, in southern Mali, you have, actually a different story using fraternal twins, which I thought was appropriate for this episode since
they
Andy
don't look
and Ansem are definitely not identical, which is probably more due to casting decisions than anything else.
Probably.
But Mangala is the creator of the world. He tries to create the world once. He fails, so he decides to use fraternal twins, 4 fraternal twins, to create the world in a cosmic egg. One of the boy twins, Pemba, gets bored of living in the cosmic egg, so he decides to escape, and doing so betrays everybody else. So Mangala has to kill the good twin to atone for Pemba's sin. The good twin is named Pharaoh, and that sort of like seeds the earth.
Interesting.
Where did you get the name Dr. Mangala from?
Dr. Mangala, the fucking German scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the same. Not the same.
Well, I know, but it just sounds familiar. So
Yeah.
I can't place
The
it.
Angel of Death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I am
Yeah.
Destroy the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also, well, that line's from the Bhagavad Gita. I am become destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
Anyways, you also see sort of a like evil twin idea in Beowulf, where the monsters are the evil projections of the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Thor and Loki.
Yeah. In comic books,
Still.
I would say more than the myth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's more of a comic book thing.
And then you also have that in Man in the Iron Mask, written by Alexander Dumas, who, there's of course the evil twin who's King Louis, and King Louis has another twin, played by baby Leonardo DiCaprio. Well, they both play baby Leonardo DiCaprio, and who's been stuck in an iron mask because he looks exactly like the queen. They're afraid, or the king, and they're afraid there's going to be air issues. And then the 3 Musketeers replace evil King Louis with good King Louis, and the kingdom still gets bankrupted, and war still breaks out several years later. It's also the idea of an evil twin. I mean, you guys have seen it everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere from pulp novels to comic books to The Great Dictator. And of course, fucking soap operas.
Yeah.
Just everywhere
Oh
in a
my
goddamn
God.
soap opera. I mean, you slap a goatee on an actor, you got a whole new goddamn character. And guess what?
Yeah.
He's evil and twin.
Yeah.
You also see that in Star Trek in the Mirror Mirror episode.
Mm-hmm. Kill your
Futurama.
double.
Futurama.
Actually, you see it a few times in Futurama.
Uh-huh.
It also kind of goes back to the idea of doppelgangers.
Yeah, kill your double.
You gotta if you
gotta
meet
kill your double.
Your doppelganger, you gotta get rid of that thing, or else something bad's gonna happen to
Kill
you.
your double.
And of course,
Kill your double.
yes.
Doppel, boiling. I don't know.
Having fun there, buddy?
Kill your double.
Do you think that's where the idea that if you time travel, you can't see yourself because you would have to kill yourself or something?
Yeah. Well, that was one of the Futurama episodes where two of the same person can't exist in the timeline because one of those people are doomed.
Yeah.
So nature will automatically correct itself by killing one of the two,
I mean, that makes sense.
which is actually a very sweet episode.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those Futurama episodes that'll make you cry.
Is which one?
The one with
Where the one where Fry's his own grandpa?
no, God, no.
Okay.
The one
That's a good episode though.
the one where it's Fry trying to court Leela, and then this other like bald guy.
Yeah, no, that's the beast with a billion backs.
Is that what it is? Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of the movies.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
movies.
Oh God.
Well,
yeah.
that's one of the seasons that got, or one of the movies that got turned into a season.
So good.
Yeah, so evil twins are all over the goddamn place. They're
Kill your
ruining
double.
America. And we need to stop them as soon as we can.
But Ron Funches actually has a really good bit.
It always
It's-
comes back to Ron Funches.
I can't remember what the context of the line, but it's like doing something and being really surprised, like seeing identical twins when you were not expecting to see identical twins.
It's like that Coors Light commercial.
Yeah.
Hey, always keep in mind, you might be the evil twin.
You never know.
Oh God, what if you meet your twin and they're so much nicer than you are?
I mean, you're probably the evil twin.
Wow, rude, Travis.
No, if anyone here is the
I know I'm
twin,
not the evil twin because I've killed my double.
Oh, wait, that would make you the evil twin.
Yeah,
You're a
Travis.
murderer.
Yeah.
No, they were the needs of the many, Ari.
No, that works in that situation because his evil twin was about to kill 2 people.
Yeah.
And then, presumably a third after he was done with them. What was your twin going to do?
I don't know, but you
Probably
have to,
hand us the right goddamn thing.
you have to
Probably.
kill your double.
Okay. Seems flimsy at best.
Yeah, I think we shot the wrong clone.
Whoa!
Should have let the other one live.
If you don't know what you're talking about, go back and listen to episode 10 of season 1.
Yeah.
Have a fun time with that.
And you can skip to about the middle.
Yeah. You'll hear a sweet guitar riff, then it starts.
All right, so that's all I got.
Yeah.
This episode, I loved it.
It was good.
I hated it. I
What?
wanted to marry it.
Okay.
No, I just really liked it. Next week, the
Next week,
episode is called No Exit.
No Exit.
I did not remember for a minute, so I pulled that out of thin air. Travis,
No Exit.
what's it about?
Sam and Dean go to an apartment building. And there are 2 women there. They're blonde. And both Sam and Dean, as a single entity, decide that they want to court either one or the other women. And they can't figure out which one. So they use a very complex number of puzzles to to determine the personalities of the women and see which ones they want to be with. Both of the women's names are Catherine, by the way. One spelled with a C and one spelled with a K.
Oh, God damn it! Son of a bitch. I didn't... Oh, God damn it. I knew it was something. I feel like such a goddamn sheep.
I'm officially not in this anymore, but is this what I think it is?
Yeah, it's Catherine.
It's a video game.
Yeah, it is
called
Catherine. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I watch anime.
I was kind of hoping you were going to do a cube thing.
Nah. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
But so...
The next time it's called No Exit. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to fucking happen.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe you'll do it right before we review the episode.
Oh, God.
So, I've been Travis.
I've been Ben.
Ari is asleep right now. Well, there she is.
Wallace.
If you like this episode, if you like to hear us talk, you can follow us on Twitter at Habcast, on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. You can find the podcast on iTunes, so you're probably listening to that right now, also on Spotify and all that. Leave us a review, leave us a rating, like, comment, and subscribe as the YouTubers say. Do they say that? Smash that motherfucking like button.
Smash that like button. Go ham on that son of a bitch.
That reference is like 3 years old by the time this episode comes out.
Have that like button, you bitch.
But yeah, we'll see you next time. Hang on, there's a cat event happening.
Dude, y'all's pussies are going crazy.
There's like a boxing match happening.
Yeah,
literally
in a box. Yeah. I feel like we need to get an invitation to go over and see what's happening.
You don't have tickets.
We don't.
Yeah, even Steven doesn't have tickets.
You know, Steven's not allowed. Oh, this is girlfriend to girlfriend.
It is. Oh, Holly, are you fucking in there?
Yeah.
Y'all be
Holly.
fucking? To quote
Right
Ellen
in
White.
front of my
Anyway.
salad.